And the Indiana Fever just put hands and feet on the Chicago Sky, who continue to be the gum on the bottom of the shoe of the league. This was what I expected. There was a point where the Chicago Sky made a run and made the game too close for my liking. We will get to that, but let's make no mistake about this game. This was the Kelsey Pistol Mitchell show. This was the Kelsey Pistol Mitchell show.
The silence after the final buzzer told a story louder than the 93-78 scoreline. This wasn't just a win for the Indiana Fever. It felt like a statement, an exclamation point in a rivalry that's been simmering with anticipation and, at times, boiling over with controversy. The Chicago Sky, once hyped as the formidable opposition, seemed more like a sparring partner outmatched from the tip-off. While the marquee matchup of Caitlin Clark versus Angel Reese didn't fully materialize on the court due to Clark's injury and Reese's absence, the game itself unveiled a deeper narrative about team dynamics, leadership, and the shifting landscape of the WNBA.
But also, let's take a moment for KK, okay? She's that moment today. She's that girl always. Thank you. Don't speak. Nothing like getting a nice little dub.
The United Center witnessed a performance for the ages from Kelsey Mitchell. It wasn't just that she scored 35 points, hitting an astounding 7 three-pointers. It was the sheer dominance she exuded. Every shot seemed to drain the energy from the Sky, every drive to the basket a defiant roar. This was Mitchell's night, a potent reminder that while the spotlight often shines on rookies and rivalries, established stars can still command center stage. Her near 40-point explosion wasn't just about numbers. It was a display of veteran prowess, a seasoned player seizing the moment and perhaps subtly shifting the focus away from the anticipated individual battle that wasn't to be.
Center, no Caitlin Clark, and they walk out with a W, 93-78. The Chicago Sky, no Angel Reese, no Haley Van Lith. Half their team was out, but it did not matter because our best player was out. So you know what the saying is? Next man up. And we decided to show up while Camila Cardoso decided to no call, no show.
Even in street clothes on the bench, Caitlin Clark's presence was undeniable. The transcript highlights her locked-in demeanor, calling out plays, and seemingly acting as an extension of the coaching staff. This paints a picture of a player whose impact transcends scoring. It speaks to a basketball IQ and a leadership quality that resonates even when she's not directly involved in the on-court action. The sheer number of Fever fans in the arena, many who came hoping for a glimpse or an autograph from Clark, underscores her magnetic pull and the cultural phenomenon she has become, even as a sidelined rookie.
The Indiana Fever got the dub today against the Chicago Sky with a 15-point dub in the United Center. The Fever and the Sky is definitely the most talked about rivalry right now in the W. The Fever improved to 3-0 against the Chicago Sky this season. Since Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese have joined the league, the Indiana Fever has a 6-1 winning record against the Sky. Kelsey Mitchell went off today in the United Center. She scored 35 points and had 6 assists. She almost had a 40 ball. We still waiting on that DoorDash, Kathy. Chloe Bibby today with her debut with the Indiana Fever. She had 8 points off the bench with a 40% field goal percentage. She was very, very key today in offense.
Conversely, Angel Reese's absence, attributed to a back injury, became a talking point in itself. The transcript's tone is critical, suggesting a disconnect between her off-court bravado and on-court impact. Phrases like internet's loudest benchwarmer and comparisons to a third-string forward paint a harsh picture. The implication is that Reese's focus might be divided, with her burgeoning brand overshadowing her development as a consistent high-level player. The Barbie Night theme, ironically tied to her nickname, further amplified the scrutiny of her absence, raising questions about her priorities and her team's performance without her.
Put them in a ditch, and Michaela Timpson treating the Chicago Sky like a bunch of Simpsons. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Kelsey Money Mitchell erupted today. Michaela Timpson continues to show every time you put her in the game, every time you give her some actual quality minutes, she will not disappoint.
The game laid bare the contrasting team identities. The Indiana Fever, even without Clark on the floor, operated with a visible cohesion described as 5 players in sync. Their ball movement and scoring appeared fluid and purposeful, suggesting a well-defined system and a shared understanding. In stark contrast, the Chicago Sky were portrayed as lacking a clear identity beyond individual talent, a team struggling with defensive rotations and overall synergy. This disparity speaks volumes about coaching, team culture, and perhaps the differing approaches to building a competitive WNBA franchise.
The Brick Lane sloth wasn't sitting out faking a back injury, was he sitting up and down on the goddamn bench? Maybe if y'all wouldn't have drafted the worst fucking basketball player of all time, eye space too far apart Reese. Maybe if the Black Klan didn't make up all of y'all stupid ass fan base, hit the gym, work on some work ethic, then maybe y'all team could have got a win today.
Barbie Night at the United Center, intended as a celebration, arguably became a stark illustration of the current reality between these two teams and their star rookies. With Reese sidelined, the focus intensified on Clark's mere presence and Mitchell's stellar performance. The irony of celebrating a player who wasn't on the court due to injury wasn't lost, and it subtly underscored the narrative that the rivalry's hype might not always align with the actual on-court product. It raises questions about whether the manufactured drama overshadows the genuine team-building processes and performances within the league.
I want to ask you about a specific topic that you brought up to me yesterday, and it had something to do with the WNBA's Angel Reese with the Chicago Sky versus the Indiana Fever. Caitlin Clark did not play, so tell us a little bit of your takeaway from that game, and I want to hear Najee's takeaway because obviously Najee's very knowledgeable about that game as well. What did Angel Reese do or did not do to help her team win or lose, in other words?
Man, they got her bet off, man, and they just got whacked, man.
The transcript hints at an evolving narrative surrounding the Clark-Reese rivalry. Initially framed as a head-to-head clash of titans, the focus seems to be shifting towards team success and overall impact. The Fever's consistent victories over the Sky, regardless of which star rookies are playing, suggest a fundamental difference in team strength and preparedness. This could temper the individual rivalry narrative and instead emphasize the broader team achievements and the contrasting trajectories of the two franchises early in their respective rebuilding phases.
So today, lads, the Indiana Fever played the Chicago Sky on Barbie Night. And obviously it was... I actually am impressed by the Chicago Sky's fight. They were overmatched. They were absolutely overmatched. Because I gotta say this, like they tried. This is the first time I've seen the Sky without both Angel Reese and Ariel Atkins like try for a full game.
Beyond the scoring and assists, the transcript emphasizes the importance of leadership. Caitlin Clark's sideline demeanor is presented as a form of active leadership, contributing strategically even when she can't contribute physically. This contrasts sharply with the implication of Reese being disengaged when not playing, focusing instead on social media. The comparison suggests that true leadership transcends on-court heroics and involves a constant commitment to the team's success, both in tangible and intangible ways.
I'm beginning to suspect the Indiana Fever are a better team than the Chicago Sky. Don't ask me why I believe that or think that. It's just a sneaking suspicion that I have. I mean, it could be the fact that the Fever spank them every time they play. Could be that. Maybe it's that. I mean, you know, you can date back to last year, but this year the Fever spanked the Sky in the season opener. Both teams at full strength. Fever smack them. Then Caitlin Clark's out the last time, and the Sky, you know, they did suffer a Courtney Vandersloot injury.
Injuries played a significant role in shaping this particular matchup, especially for the Chicago Sky, who were missing several key players besides Reese. However, the Fever's ability to secure a decisive victory, even with Clark out, highlights their developing depth and resilience. This next-man-up mentality suggests a stronger team culture and a greater reliance on collective effort, further underscoring the differences between the two teams' current states.
I gotta say, like, it was a big game. But if you guys didn't see before the game, and this is one of the things where it's like, I think this is a big reason why Caitlin Clark is, in general, so popular. Like, Caitlin Clark spent 20 minutes signing autographs. She made her way 2/3 of the arena. She signed literally hundreds of autographs. She signed hundreds of autographs. And if you guys didn't see that game today, there were as many Fever fans as there were Sky fans. So Caitlin Clark is not playing the game. And like, by the way, like, people didn't know whether or not Caitlin was playing that game until the very end. There are hundreds of fans that were there to see Caitlin Clark play on the on the off chance Caitlin Clark would be able to sign.
The enthusiastic fan turnout for a game where one of the main attractions was injured speaks volumes about the Caitlin Clark effect. Her ability to draw crowds and generate excitement, even when not playing, is a testament to her cultural impact. This contrasts with the assessment of the Chicago Sky's atmosphere, at least as implied by the transcript's focus on Fever fans present. It suggests a disparity in fan engagement, and perhaps the broader appeal of the two rookies in their respective markets.
Everything was in the flow of the offense. Effortless, man. We got to give love to Kelsey Mitchell. 12 of 19 from the floor, 7 of 10 from 3, 35 points. Straight stirring the pot. Stirring the pot. She was cooking their ass today. Kelsey Mitchell was on one. She was on one. She was a plus 25 for the game. The Chicago Sky are a flat-out joke. This team is terrible. No Angel Reese today. I don't believe it would have mattered. It would not have mattered if she played today or not. This team is bad. Now, on the bright side for the Chicago Sky, hey, you only lost by 15 today. You didn't lose by 40 like last game. So things are on the up and up.
Looking beyond this single game, the transcript subtly points towards underlying tensions and future implications for both teams and the league. The strong language used to critique the Sky's performance and Reese's contributions hints at a growing sentiment about the disparity between hype and results. The Fever's consistent success against the Sky could have long-term psychological effects on the rivalry, potentially diminishing the perceived competitiveness. Ultimately, the focus shifts from individual matchups to the fundamental building blocks of successful WNBA teams. The team with cohesion, competence, and clear leadership, as the transcript argues the Fever possess, is more likely to dictate the future narrative.
The Sky were there, and Reese was there, and the Fever spanked them. Then this time around, you know, both teams dealing with injuries. Sky really decimated by injuries, to be fair. Rachel Banham carrying the slack a lot for them. But Caitlin Clark still out for the Fever. And once again, the Fever spanked the Sky. So no matter what context, what part of the season, however you want to frame it, the Fever are a better team than the Chicago Sky. And the Fever are starting to really find their stride. They're really starting to find their stride. Obviously, they're able to get into a little bit of a rhythm without Caitlin Clark, knowing Caitlin Clark is going to be out.
So the Indiana Fever played the Chicago Sky on Barbie Night, of which Angel Reese was not in the game. She is who Barbie Night is pretty much named after, but she is out with a back injury. As a matter of fact, many of their players are out. Mariah Jefferson is out. Haley Van Lith is out. Again, Angel Reese is out. So this game, in my mind, was pretty much a lock. And I gotta say, it was not the funnest.
In conclusion, the Indiana Fever's dominant victory over the Chicago Sky, even in the absence of a head-to-head clash between Clark and Reese, delivered a resounding statement. Kelsey Mitchell's brilliance, Caitlin Clark's impactful sideline presence, and the contrasting team dynamics painted a picture that went far beyond the final score. While the individual rivalry continues to capture headlines, this game underscored the importance of team cohesion, leadership that extends beyond the court, and the fundamental difference between a team finding its stride and one still searching for its identity. The Barbie Night irony served as a backdrop to a decisive Fever performance, suggesting that in this burgeoning rivalry, one team is currently writing a more compelling story on the court.